Next, coming to principles and techniques of directing. Okay, so what are the principles and what are the techniques that were involved in the directing? Okay, so uh, directing may be considered as a core of managing process or a sub process of management process. And in order to make directing more effective and meaningful, certain principles are followed. Okay, so what are those principles? So first principle is principle of maximum individual contribution. Okay, so maximum individual contribution leads to the effectiveness of the organization, efficiency of the organization as a whole. Means management should adopt such directing policies that motivate the employee to contribute their maximum potential for the attainment of organizational goals. Okay, so therefore in maximum individual contribution, this principle should be followed by every organization, because individuals are the backbones, employees are the backbones of the organization. If at all they are very capable, very potential, if they contribute their maximum potentialities towards the organization's goals, okay, definitely organization will be very effective and efficient. Productivity of the organization will be enhanced. Therefore management should adopt such directing policies. Okay, the directions or the instructions, guidances, educating the employees, okay, leading the employees, or else counseling the employees, all should result in the motivating the employee. In which form? They have to contribute, employees to be motivated in such a way that they should contribute their maximum potentialities, maximum capabilities, okay, for the accomplishment of organizational goals. And coming to second one, harmony of objectives. So what does harmony of objectives means? Sometimes there is a conflict between the organizational objectives and individual objectives. Here, directing has an important role to play in establishing harmony and coordination between the objectives of both the parties. Therefore, some as we see, conflicts definitely arises in every organization. Okay, so conflicts may be arised in organizational objectives and individual objectives. Okay, here individual objectives means the employees who are working in the organizations, okay, they will more be concerned with their career objectives. Okay, they have their own career personal objectives, so there should not be a clash between organizational objectives and individual objectives. So organizational objectives are purely concerned with the increase in productivity of organization, and individual objectives are purely concerned with their personal career growth, for growth of their career. Okay, so these two should not contradict. Okay, there should not exist conflicts between these two objectives. So organization should create objectives, okay, in such a way that these should, both organizational objectives and individual objectives should coincide and coordinate finally to achieve the organizational objectives and as well as the individual objectives. So harmony of objectives between organizational objectives and individual objectives should be there. Okay, so finally we can say that an effective direction depends on harmony of objectives. Individuals join the organizations to satisfy their physiological and psychological needs, and they are expected to work for achievement of organizational objectives too. Okay, so they will perform their tasks better if they feel that it will satisfy their personal goals also. So harmony attains there. Okay, they should feel that their personal objectives will be also achieved. Okay, in and they will perform their task better. Okay, therefore management must try to reconcile the personal goals of employees with the organizational goals. So in that way harmony between these objectives can be brought out. Okay, now third principle is unity of command. Okay, so unity of command, we all know that what is a unity means oneness, command means direction, okay, or order. So unity should be there. So only one single superior should give orders to the superiors, subordinates. Okay, so subordinate should get order from only one superior, but not from different superiors. Okay, then if at all he get different orders from different superiors means confusion may be raised in the subordinate to whom he should work. Okay, and therefore after confusion it leads to conflicts, it leads to disorder in the organization. Therefore we have to see there is a unity of command. Okay, so the principle is not only important in organization but also in direction also. So we study this unity of command in the principles of management under 14 principles of Henry Fayol's management. Okay, we will study this principle. So not only in management this principle is applied, not only in there but also in direction also we have to use this principle of command. Okay, so this principle states that a subordinate should get orders and instructions from one boss only. Okay, so he should know clearly to whom he is accountable, and if he is asked to obey two bosses means the greater possibility is that he will not be able to satisfy any of the two. This may create indiscipline and conflict, disorder in the organization. Therefore it is essential that every subordinate should report to only one superior or boss. Okay, so this is about the unity of command. Okay, he should receive instructions not more than one superior at the same time. Okay, now coming to direct supervision. So this is another principle. So direct supervision, what does it creates? So direction becomes more effective when there is a direct personal contact between a superior, okay, between a superior and subordinate. Okay, and such direct contact improves morale and commitment of employees. Therefore wherever possible direct supervision should be used. Okay, so to the maximum extent, but if we want to say that in every level of management, in every place, okay, direct supervision may not be possible all the times. Okay, but if at all it is possible, going for this direct supervision, it creates a good cordial relationship between the superior and subordinates. Okay, direct personal contact leads to the effectiveness in the work, it improves the moral, okay, and also the commitment of the employee towards the organization. Okay, so next another principle is effective communication. So what does effective communication means? Okay, so a good system of communication between the boss and his subordinate. Okay, so it is essential for coordination. Good communication leads to good coordination. Okay, so effective communication is an instrument of direction. So two-way communication gives the subordinates a chance to express their feelings and the boss to know the feelings of the subordinate. Therefore misunderstandings can be removed through effective communication. Okay, so effective communication means simply we can say it is a two-way communication. Whenever there is a two-way communication, definitely, okay, the subordinates pains and gains also can be known by the superior and try to resolve those. Okay, then we may not see any conflicts and disorder in the organization. Okay, so this is another principle to be followed under direction. Okay, next one is effective leadership. So what does effective leadership means? Managers should act as leaders so that they can influence the activities of their subordinates without dissatisfying them. Okay, so leaders should be capable of influencing the activities of subordinates. Okay, so definitely as leaders they should guide and counsel the subordinates not only on the work problems but also on the personal problems also. So every member, every employee in the organization, they will have a family. Okay, so definitely they will also face some problems in the family also. So therefore a leader should have concern not only on the productivity side of the organization also, but also he should see the personal contact also, personal problems of subordinates also, not only work related but also his personal problems also should be known by the superior. Okay, and he may try to resolve them also. Then only he can perform well in the organization, and it results in the increase in the productivity of the organization. Okay, in this way this helps them, okay, the subordinates, they can win the confidence and trust, okay, of their subordinates, right? So therefore effective leadership is also important principle in directing. And another one is use of informal organizations. Okay, so we all know informal organizations means forming groups in the organizations. That is not formal, means it is not, it is only informal groups. So informal groups have no levels of management, no any authority responsibility likewise. Okay, so depending upon their taste and preferences, depending upon their attitudes, okay, so groups will be formed informally in organizations. So they are nowhere related to the management. Okay, so we have to properly organizations use this informal organizations. Okay, so among principles of directing, this one states that appropriate direction techniques should be used to supervise, lead, communicate, and motivate employees based on their needs, capabilities, attitudes, and other situational variables. So, organizations should know through these informal organizations what were the needs, what are the capabilities, what are the attitudes of the employees in the organization, and try to supervise them, try to lead them, try to guide them, try to counsel them, try to educate them. Okay, so by using these informal organizations, definitely this will help the organization's enhancement. Okay, and follow through. Okay, so follow through means the manager should identify those groups and use them to communicate information. So these there should be a free flow of information among seniors and subordinates, as an effective exchange of information are really important for the growth of an organization. So follow through is also considered as uh, another effective communication technique. Okay, means here superior subordinate bonding should be good. The exchange of information regarding the work also should be exchanged, okay, effectively. Then only subordinates also work in a effective manner. Okay, so these are all the principles of directing. Coming to the techniques of direction, so what does techniques means? First one is delegation of authority. Okay, so this is the first technique of direction. Delegation means assigning work to others and giving them authority to do it. Okay, so it consists of granting the right to decision making in certain defined areas and charging the subordinates for carrying out the assigned duties. Okay, so while assigning the work to others and giving them some authority to do it, definitely they are responsible to perform their assigned work. Okay, so definitely those subordinates will work in a better way, effective way. Okay, which enhances the productivity of organization and accomplish the objectives of the organization. So delegation of authority is a good technique to be followed while directing the subordinates. Okay, so basically delegation of authority means we are granting some rights to subordinates. So these involves those this direction or this delegation of authority implies that assigning duties and responsibilities also. Okay, at the same time we are granting some authority, and also finally we are creating some accountability for performance. right? So therefore definitely every subordinate is responsible and accountable to the assigned work, and definitely they will perform to the uh, maximum level. Okay, so therefore this is a good technique to be followed in direction. Okay, coming to the second one is supervision. So this is also another important technique that could be followed under the direction. So supervision means overseeing the subordinates at work, okay, to ensure that they are working according to the plans and policies of organization. So supervision means we are supervising, we are overseeing the activities that are doing by the subordinates. Okay, are they doing properly according to the plans and procedures of the organizations? Means it has a direct face-to-face contact between supervisor and subordinate. Okay, so the aim of supervision is to ensure that subordinates work efficiently and effectively to accomplish the task assigned to them. Therefore here we are concerned with initiating the action, planned action. Okay, so it involves putting effects, okay, of the decisions, of the plans, of the programs in order to accomplish the enterprise's objectives. So we are properly activating, motivating the subordinates to perform the given task, to perform the assigned tasks. Okay, so here we will use different techniques by the supervisors on subordinates, like consultative technique or democratic technique, or else autocratic technique, free rein technique. Likewise different techniques will be adopted while supervising. But if we go for example consultative technique or democratic technique, under this technique the supervisor takes some decisions, okay, like regarding some methods or procedures to be adopted only after consulting his subordinate. Okay, so this is some sort of a technique that is followed by supervisors. Why? Because they are taking some, consulting some decisions, okay, through the by subordinate also. Okay, so like this, likewise whenever subordinate feel so they are also free to express their decisions, suggestions. Okay, and if suggestions are really good, means if they are applicable also, this encourages the subordinates. Okay, so likewise supervision good is a good technique to be followed under direction. Okay, so definitely if supervision means we are supervising the subordinates activities, are they doing well, okay, according to the plans and programs in the organization goals. Okay, according to the goals of the organization, are they working, are they doing, are they performing properly? Okay, so whenever this supervising technique is used, okay, as I said, there were different techniques like consultative technique, autocratic technique, okay, free rein technique. Likewise different techniques will be followed under supervision. Okay, so depends upon the technique. Okay, so usually consultative technique encourages the subordinates to perform the work more effectively. Okay, likewise, so techniques of supervision also will give good results in the process of direction. Now coming to third one, issuing orders and instruction. Generally orders means order means it is a directive to subordinate. Okay, an order is a directive to subordinates as to what is to be done or not to be done in the execution of work for achieving organizational objectives. Therefore it is a primary tool of directing by means of which activities are started, altered, guided, terminated, etc. Okay, thus, the purpose of order is to initiate, modify, or halt any action. Okay, so that is a order. Okay, and instruction is also obviously the same one. Instruction is also like order also. Okay, so according to the instruction, subordinate has to perform their work according to the plan. The subordinate has to implement it in action. Okay, so that is instruction. So we have different orders, like types of orders, like general or specific orders, procedural or operational orders. Likewise, so all these orders or instructions are to be properly laid down to the subordinate. Okay, then only they can work effectively in the organization. The do's and don'ts should be properly communicated to the subordinate. Okay, so issuing orders and instructions, this is also another technique in order to get a maximum performance from the subordinate. Okay, and another one is motivation. So we all know that motivation means increasing the or enhancing the performance of the subordinate through motivating him. Motivating means in the form of giving rewards. Okay, either the rewards may be in the form of uh, monetary or non-monetary. Okay, so here motivating employees means definitely giving some incentives to the employee. Okay, so definitely those incentives, they will force the employees to work better, to work maximum level, maximum extent in the organization. Okay, so these motivating rewards or else incentives may be in the monetary form or non-monetary form. Okay, they may be in the form of money wise, they may enhance the performance of the employee, or else by giving promotions, or else by giving recognition to the employee in the organization. Okay, so in this way also employees will be motivated. So therefore direction means we are motivating, direction through motivation. Okay, so this is another technique through direction. And another one is leadership. So leadership also plays important technique in direction. So we have to, the superiors has to properly lead the subordinates. Okay, so they have to guide them. Okay, they have to counsel them. Okay, so if at all there are any problems in the subordinate means definitely the superiors has to take lead. Okay, to solve the problems both personally and work related of the subordinates. Okay, so the proper leadership, okay, leads, okay, leads the subordinates to perform more. Maximum performance can be seen through proper leadership. Okay, so direction means leadership should be there for the superiors. So leadership qualities means definitely he should have both sympathy, at the same time empathy towards the subordinates. Okay, so coming to last one, communication. So communication is also important technique under direction. So while directing, effective communication should be followed by the superiors. So here effective communication is nothing but the two-way communication. So two-way communication means as the boss or the superior gives instructions and orders to the subordinates, okay, as he conveys his communication, and the subordinates also has to communicate. Here they can also communicate their views and opinions to the superior, also their pains and gains also to the superior. Okay, then only the communication is said to be effective. No one way communication, here two way communication only will be effective. Okay, two way communication only gives good productivity in the organization. Okay, then only a superior able to know the pains and gains of the subordinates who are working under him. Then if he know about the subordinates views and opinions, their pains and gains, okay, he will try to resolve them, and definitely the subordinates will trust those people, okay, those superiors, and try to work effectively in the organization, which will enhances the productivity of the organization and finally accomplish the objectives of the organization, right? So these are all the techniques of direction.